So we're really happy to have Ashley Barker from the Department of Sanitation with us today to talk about the smart composting bins. We're really excited about this, and they are too. So it's a great partnership.
We love our smart bin composting program, so we're really excited to talk about it with you all. So again, my name is Ashley Barker. I am operations lead for the agencies and building team at the Technical Assistance and Training Unit for the Department of Sanitation. So we provide recycling trainings, and our team also works on the installation and maintenance of our smart bins that are located throughout the city. Today we will talk about the new orange smart bins that you'll see appearing in your neighborhood. I will show you how to download the app so you can access and unlock the bins. We'll talk about what's supposed to go inside and what materials shouldn't go inside, and what happens after you put your food and yard waste in the bins. Every few years, the Department of Sanitation does what we call a waste characterization study. So we basically go out at night when all of the bags have been put out for collection, and we open them, take an assessment of what's inside, and put together this beautiful table that describes what New York City residents are throwing out. So you see that third, basically, of our waste is made up of organic, suitable for composting. So that includes food scraps, all of your food soiled paper, as well as yard waste. So our goal is to, reduce the amount of materials that go in black bags for trash, because there's a lot of other options to recycle or reuse products, which includes food and yard waste. So instead of throw that out, we can reuse it and make it into a nice compost, or, create energy out of it. So by separating your yard waste and food scraps, you're keeping the sidewalks cleaner, because right now when food or yard waste goes into black bags and they're set out as trash, on collection days, rodents and pests can definitely get inside. They rip the bags open and they have access to that food. So by taking that out and putting it in a bin, we keep the sidewalks cleaner. We just want to cut down on the amount of materials that are sent to landfills where greenhouse gases are produced, and it's bad for the environment and humans. And then, as you see in this picture, once we take all the food and yard waste, we turn it into this nice nutrient-rich compost. And we use it for a lot of tree bed maintenance things. We do giveaways for the compost, so you can use it for your house plants or your yard. Landscapers can purchase it. And so it just becomes a nice full circle activity. So one way that you can manage your food waste is by using the NYC Smart Composting Bins. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The app is available for free for iPhone and Android. You can search NYC Compost and it'll look just like this orange picture with the apple core. They're located throughout the city, and they're emptied about almost every day each week by sanitation. And then sanitation workers will collect everything that's inside. The food waste is turned into compost, and we beautify green spaces throughout the 5 boroughs. For information about our smart bins, as well as other food scrap drop-off locations, if you happen to not be near a smart bin, you can visit nyc.gov/dropfoodscraps, and you can find out all about this program and more. So what I love about this program, particularly all programs to keep anything that we can reuse out of landfills, are a great thing. Whereas local parks or composting sites are usually processing the material on site in a park or something, so they're unable to accept bones or dairy or meat, some of the stuff that would actually bring rodents and pests to their area. Because we have access to such a huge facility, we make a big pile out of all the materials, and it gets so hot that it cooks out all of that bacteria that we find in bones and meat and dairy. So whereas some of the smaller operations aren't able to accept that, because sanitation has such a big program, we accept all food waste. So you don't really have to think about it. We just say, if you can eat it, you can compost it in our program. So bones, meat, dairy, just anything that's on your plate can go, and a paper plate can go straight in the bin when you're finished. So it's really not a lot of guesswork. Everything you see here is accepted in the program. So just anything you eat, you can put in our bin, and we can do something great with it. And as mentioned, so the products go to Fresh Kills, is our main compost processing facility in Staten Island. And then we bag it into these really nice bags of compost, and local community gardens. We work with parks. We do street tree cleanup. So it just, becomes a nice part of the neighborhood. And so now we'll get into the details about how to actually get to the app. It's super easy. You're just going to go to the Play Store or the Apple Store, find the app NYC Compost. It's free. It's not going to ask for any personal information, so everyone can remain anonymous. We are able to access information about, just bin usage, and we just want to monitor it, but we don't collect any personal information. So whenever you want to use the bin, you can do so anonymously. The app does use a Bluetooth connection, so you just need to make sure that that is enabled. So that sends a signal to unlock the bin, and it also helps sort of geolocate you to show you what bins are available in your neighborhood. If you're not able to download it in advance, you can also walk right over to a smart bin, and it'll have a QR code on it. So you could just take your phone out, scan that with your camera. I believe it takes you to our website, which will then direct you to either the Android or the iPhone Play Store so that you can download it. So that's the first step, is to get it onto your phone. Once it's downloaded on your phone, when you use it for the first time, it'll take you through this series of screens. So if you forget everything I'm mentioning now, it will provide you with a quick overview of how it works. So again, the bins are accessible 24/7. Anything that you eat can go in the bin. Also, if you use napkins or paper towels just to sort of wipe your mouth or wipe up any food waste that doesn't have, you're not using chemicals for cleaning or anything like that, that can all go in the bin. Paper plates, coffee filters, and tea bags can all go in the bin. And then all your plant and yard waste, so leaves, flowers, potted plants. And just to add, it doesn't matter if the food is moldy, frozen, not frozen, cooked, uncooked, whatever it is. If you're just going through your freezer and realize everything's freezer burnt, or oops, I forgot about that lasagna that's been in there for 2 weeks, you can throw it in the bin, no problem. And then the third screen will just tell you about how to open the bin. So you just have to be near one. The bin will sense that you're nearby, and you'll see a button light up, and so once you go through those first 2 screens, you'll say, let's go, let's get started, and then it'll look just like this. So once you open the app, you'll see the bins that are nearby, and you'll be offered sort of a series of choices. If a bin, like pictured here, bin 16 has that green check mark, so that means the bin is fully available. You're able to just walk up to it, put your phone. I always kind of put my phone on the top. There's a solar panel on the top, and that's where the sensors are strongest. So not required, but if you ever have trouble unlocking, give that a try. But you should be able to just be near the bin. You'll see this green unlock button when you're near it, and then you just tap that, and that's what will cause the front door to open, and you'll just pull that open and throw your food waste in and go about your day. If you do see like bin 10 pictured here, it has that red circle with the line through it, so that means the bin's full. It's reached its capacity and sanitation needs to service it, so you won't be able to unlock that bin. It's full, so you just have to find the next one nearby. And then the little sort of brownish orange with the exclamation point, that means it's nearly full. So that's sort of a guide to say, maybe you should get over there quickly and utilize that bin, and you might be the one that fills it. Or if you don't want to go through any issues of someone getting there before you and filling it up, maybe find one that's just green, that's nearby and fully open and able to be used by you. That sanitation services these bins about 6 days a week, so they're hopefully getting emptied out.
So I now open the app, and let's see, unlock bin, beep, it might beep. Let me put my phone. Okay. Okay.
That's it. It should be very quick and very easy. And I think the video was great in that it shows that they're using also like plastic bags. So you can use a paper bag if you have one. You can use an old potato bag if you'd like, or a plastic shopping bag. Compostable bags are great as well. But however you can get it to us, we'll take it as is. So hopefully you've seen from this video how quick it is. You just walk up to the bin, tap unlock bin, and throw your food in and move on. And so that's how the bin works. And I just wanted to share this additional resource. So if you ever have questions, we have lots of great brochures. If you have curbside composting at home and you use our brown bins or your own bins, our curbside composting program works just like the smart bins and what we accept, except you put the food scraps and yard waste out on your recycling day and sanitation picks it up. So if you need decals, if you ever need brochures or guidance, please visit on.nyc.gov/recycling-materials. And you can order Lots of great informational pieces, free of charge, and we'll ship them to you at home. If it's certified compostable, you can do it that way. But yeah, normal plastic cutlery or your takeout containers, that'll just go in your blue bin at home out for recycling.
Great.
But yeah, so mainly paper plates. Also, if you have a pizza box that's really greasy and covered in cheese, you can see, I know that's a confusing item for a lot of people. So you could rip the clean paper from the pizza box off and put that in your paper recycling, and that'll go to a facility, and they make more boxes out of it, so they want that to be as clean as possible. But if it's oily and greasy, we'll take it in the compost bin. The compost bins are currently kind of spread out all throughout Manhattan, and then in the outer boroughs, they're not quite everywhere yet. And so we installed what we installed. I don't know of any further expansions, and especially because Brooklyn is getting curbside composting starting October 2nd, I believe.
Oh, okay. That's
everyone in Brooklyn will have. Right. So it's sort of the smart bins go hand in hand with the curbside composting program.
Gotcha.
But definitely we love this program. Definitely let your local electeds or, your sanitation workers know if you love this program, and it, can only help us expand the access to smart bins.
We keep our compost in the freezer. I think people have all different ways of keeping their compost at home. Ashley, you might have some insight into that.
That's a great point. Yeah, I do keep it in the freezer. I had a nice fancy kitchen container that sanitation had done giveaways, and there may be more. Again, you can always reach out to local electeds to request things. But I found my kitchen container was too big for my freezer, and I was running out of space for food. So now I've just had the system of, using a brown bag that I've gotten from something, and I'll either keep it in the freezer or on the counter. Definitely over the summer months, I found the freezer kept sort of the smelliness at bay in sort of the fall and the winter, because I find I freeze more things from the summer, like your tomatoes and stuff to keep. And so I do use it on my counter, but I'll sprinkle it with baking soda, although, some people still do read the newspaper. I know it's like harder to find, but you can always layer that or use cardboard as well to sort of, if you find things are really greasy or liquidy and getting a little smelly, by creating those layers, it helps absorb some of the moisture and cut down on the smelliness. But ideally, I find it the easiest if I just keep everything in the freezer. Whenever I have anything, I throw it in there. And then usually like the night before recycling night, that's when I, with the smart bins, you can go any night that it's convenient for you, as long as it's not too heavy for you to carry over to the bin. But whatever works. Yeah, like I think it's nice. You can use a plastic bag, clear bag, however it works for you to manage in your home, and getting it out to the bins is great.
The chute is it's smaller. So you might want to break down what you have into smaller bags. We found ourselves doing that a couple of times. So the base that you put it in is like, I don't know exactly how big, but it's like this, right? Just be aware that if you have a huge bag of compost, you might have to break it down a little bit further.
That's a great point. Yeah. So it does, which I've done before, you load up a big bag because you don't feel like going all the time. And then when you get there, you do have a little bit of difficulty getting inside of it, especially if it's frozen, right? Because it's just like a block of ice. So I find the sugar bag, like a 5-pound bag of sugar, about that size, is the perfect. So almost like a popcorn bag size is sort of perfect to just be able to slip it in. But you could do it in 2 bags, and if needed, you could open your bag and pour a little bit in to make your bag small. So that's fine. Not everything has to be bagged. The bin is lined with a clear bag, which is what the sanitation workers pull out. So however it's easiest for you to get it inside. But that's a great point about not making your bag too big. Tissues, not if no sanitary products. That's a great question.
Not if they're nasty. So if you,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you just kind of used it like lightly or whatever, but nothing that wipes your nose or whatever. Yeah, I guess even though it'll break down for sure, we just want like food soiled paper only.